Hello, my name is Regina Miller, and I'm here. This is my life, session 6. I am answering questions this month, and the question that was asked to me for today is, how did I succeed from welfare to self employment? And I'm so happy to touch on this topic because I went viral on my TikTok for this particular topic. How I went from welfare to self employment. Basically, everyone, when you need help, you go where the help is. For me, it was the welfare system. I was a teenage mom, I was married, I was divorced, and I needed the financial stability to get me where I needed to go further. So the welfare system back then had things set in place where I could utilize these programs and get myself moving forward. Like the daycare was free. They were giving me food stamps. They were giving me housing. They were giving me a program where I could go to beauty school for free, long as I was going. They put me through college for 2 years free as long as I was going. There were classes that I had to take to better myself. And I took advantage of every class. I mean, they were giving it away free. All I had to do was attend. And also, by attending those classes, I was able to stay on these programs like food stamps. I think back at the time I was getting maybe $200 for my children, $100 each child. Now, mind you, I wasn't so concerned about the $200 for each child cash money. What I was concerned about, what am I going to be doing when I finish with this program that's going to really take care of my children? I was fortunate enough to have supportive parents. I was in my parents' home, so I didn't have to worry about so much of the, why I'm only getting $200. What am I going to do with $200 for kids? I had a support system around me. And when I say my parents' house, meaning my father owned a 3-story brownstone in Brooklyn, New York, and I was staying on the top floor with my children. And so I was getting a stipend from the welfare system to stay in that apartment with my children. So they were taking care of my house and they were taking care of my food, and they were seeing that I can go to school every day. And they also was taking care of my child care. And when I got to the point where I was finished with beauty school, I was finished with, taking all the programs that I needed to take. I can't really think back as to what the name of each program was, but the child care program definitely was the one that really stood out for me because I was so thinking like, oh my God, I have to be in beauty school for 10 hours a day, and I didn't want to leave my children in a daycare system for 10 hours a day. So that kind of worried me. So what I did was I stayed home until my children got maybe four-ish. They're 15 months apart. So the oldest one I think was 4. Basically the age where you just finna go into kindergarten, because I'm not a mom that I don't really care about I don't really care for the daycare systems. And so I just wanted to make sure my children, if they went to daycare, they would only be there maybe like a few months, and then they would be getting prepared for kindergarten. So it worked out. My mom and dad, again, was very supportive of me. So my dad, instead of my kids being there for 10 hours like I was in school, when my dad would get off his job, he would go and pick my children up from daycare until I made it back to the home. Now, mind you, God is so good. And I always tell you all, that God, was always and truly in my life. So even though I had that fear of the daycare system, God made it whereas the daycare that my children did go to was top notch. When I tell you top notch, top notch, okay? So I didn't have to worry at all about my kids being in the daycare system. It was a system where you had to get a key fob to get in. You had to, have the code. Your people who pick your kids up had to be on the list. Like, it was really top notch. I was so amazed at that. even more than me going to school for free. Okay. And I think I had to pay, with the Pell Grant for school, I had to pay because I was on the welfare system. I only had to pay like $800 cash for my school, and the Pell Grant, because I was on the welfare system, again, allowed me that opportunity. They took care of the rest. And so I thought that was great. And when I finished with beauty school, here I am, I was able to turn in my welfare system card, turn it all in. My dad went with me down to the welfare system, and I got off welfare. I think I was on food stamps for like 6 months after I turned, like the money part and all of the being in the system part. I got all that out my system, all of that off of me. I was no longer in a computer. Um, and I was so proud of myself because when I say I maxed out the welfare system, that's exactly what I did. And I was able to go from welfare to self-employment until this very day. I am 51 years old. And I have been a salon owner. Okay, I have been in the salon business. This is my life. This is how I took care of my children. That's why I honor it so much. And I'm now showing my granddaughter, how I do the hair system. I've been doing her hair since she's been born, and she's 12 years old. So, my legacy of being a hair salon owner, I don't mind telling my story, how it started, because people need to understand that the welfare system is there to help you. It is not there to hurt you. So, yes, I went from welfare to self-employment, and I'm proud to say it because those programs are there to help you. They're not there for you to gain generational wealth on welfare. They're for you to gain generational wealth using your mind and to learn from the system to do better with your life. And I'm so proud of that, and I'm so proud to share this story. Not an embarrassment. Part of my body is something that people need to know. Don't be afraid to get help for you. I needed help. I was left with children. My husband left me. I was young. I had my mom and dad, but I didn't have to just, lean on my mom and dad. They were still taking care of themselves. So they have these programs set in place. You grown enough to make kids, you grown enough to make decisions for those children. And I thank God that I made the decisions that I made for mine. And I was able to be a single mom, self-employed, and raise my children without asking anyone out in this world for help. And I thank God for my life, and I thank God for the person who asked this question. I always love this question. My name is Regina Miller, and yes, I went from welfare to self-employment. This is my life. This is my life session, and come back tomorrow for another one. Keep the questions coming.